Hello folks, welcome to OTD. My name is Adam Warduna. This is my mom Gina. And as you can see, we are out in the elements today. It is cold and it is snowy, and this is snowy wintertime in the Midwest.
When your set is on the deck, you are on the deck.
We are on the deck, and so this is our afternoon show today, and we're going to be talking about the AFC and NFC championship games going on this weekend. We have four really good teams.
Final four for the NFL.
Final four for the NFL. We finally reached the point where teams were going to actually advance on to the Super Bowl, and we're finally excited to get to this point. And so we've got the Denver Broncos taking on the New England Patriots, and we on the AFC side, and then towards the NFC side we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And so just to kind of introduce, we've got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks within the AFC.
And then two Heisman quarterbacks.
And then two Heisman and former #1 picks in the NFC.
Great game.
So we're going to have some great games. These are great matchups. We're going to go ahead and just jump into the AFC really quickly here. We've got Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. We all know their history. We all know how great these guys are. We're just excited to see another matchup because, like I mentioned before, we've got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks going at it. And this is just going to be another classic game, another classic showdown. Battle of, wisdom and tradition, and who's going to just lead their team into battle. And I'm just excited to see this game. What are your quick initial thoughts?
Well, I think, keys to the game are going to be two things. One, I'm really glad that it's being played at Mile High Stadium because you're going to take some of the reffing out of it. And by that, I know the NFL refs have gotten a rap this year, and they've had a rough year. But, the Patriots just defeated the Chiefs last Sunday. You know what? A win's a win. Congratulations, Patriots. And they always say, losers cry about calls. But there were some obvious calls that went the Patriots' way. Alex Smith got tackled, had his arms pinned to the ground, and drove to the ground after the ball was released, and, no flag. Here you go. Tom Brady gets bumped, literally shoulder pad to shoulder pad after the ball's released, and there's a 15-yard penalty. So now that the game's going to be a mile high and not in Foxborough, I think you're going to get a much more evenly called game. You may get a couple calls that go Peyton's way, and that's the way it is for quarterbacks. But I think the other key to the game is going to be whether the Denver Broncos receivers want to catch the ball today. And I'm not saying that with hate. That's a great receiving core. They've got a wonderful defense. But you got to catch the ball. And I think that's been the knock on Peyton is his completion percentage, but that's not all on him.
Yeah, no, I think you bring up a great point, and it happened in last week's game against the Chiefs as well. For Tom Brady, the receivers were dropping passes, and it happened in the game for the Broncos as well against the Steelers. Receivers were dropping passes in both games, and that's going to be a huge element to how the quarterbacks can be successful is making those tough catches, making the catches when contact's coming down, and being able to control the football when you're in the air and bringing your feet in bounds, and being able to secure the football and look it all the way in. And we don't want to see what happened to Des Bryant last year in the divisional round with the Cowboys and the Packers, where was it a catch, wasn't it a catch? People are saying it was, people are saying it wasn't. Just catch the football.
Yeah, just catch the football,
secure
put
the
your
football,
feet down,
catch it,
right,
secure it,
right,
and move on from there. Don't leave it up to the refs. I think is more to the point.
That's the point.
If you're a professional athlete, you're an elite athlete. Make the catch and secure it, and make sure that your quarterback knows that you've got his back, and make sure that he knows that he can throw the football to you. And I think as far as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning both go, these are guys that need their receivers to catch the football.
Well, every quarterback does, and right. I think they've got some great weapons on both sides.
Yes.
Can we talk about the other side?
Yeah,
of
let's
the
go
draw?
ahead and let's segue over to the NFC. Let's go ahead and talk about this really exciting matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. As we mentioned before, you have two Heisman Trophy winners in Carson Palmer and in Cam Newton, two former #1 picks in the NFL draft. This is going to be a great game, and I'm excited to watch it.
Well, I have to pick the best-looking guy, and that would be Cam Newton. Cam Newton is fine. Obviously, I sound like an old cougar right now. I'm happily married, but that fine is fine. Cam Newton is a good-looking young man. Okay, that being taken out of it, okay, you got two really great quarterbacks, different styles of quarterbacks, but I'm going to have to make the call for the Panthers on this one.
Yeah, I believe the Panthers right now are just playing a different style of football than anybody else really in the NFL, and they have been all year. And they've been doing it with swagger and their own pizzazz, if you will. And Cam Newton has been the leader of the charge, and rightfully so. He's been probably going to be the MVP of the league
Definitely
this year,
MVP,
and he deserves it. And he's been getting a lot of criticism, not just this year, but from all the previous years. He had an amazing rookie year, set all those rookie quarterback records, and clearly he's been proven time and time again that he's ready to play, and he's a great quarterback. I'm excited to watch him go ahead and take on Carson Palmer.
Well, I do want to speak a little bit on what's going on with Cam, because I do feel like here's a guy who's done nothing but win. He's done nothing but win the right way, lead his team, and he's gotten a lot of, I think, undue and unwarranted criticism about the fact that he dances in the end zone. But if you look, this is a guy who's dancing with his teammates and for his teammates and for his city. And let's be honest, the Panthers were an expansion team.
Right.
The fact that they've got a quarterback and a team that's out there winning and doing it the right way, all the guys on the team are working for each other. I think that's something that should be applauded, not criticized. And so I say, do your thing, Cam. Hit him with the, dab on him all you want to, but, first and foremost, go win the game. That is not going to be as easy as you think, because Carolina has a heck of a defense. Or not Carolina, I beg your pardon. Arizona has a heck of a defense, too.
Yes, the Arizona Cardinals right now have probably been the best team in the NFL all season. Not to take anything away from the Panthers, but just overall as a complete team, I think just starting from the top down with Bruce Arians as the head coach, and their offense is very high-powered. Carson Palmer is a well-proven quarterback. He hasn't made it quite this far in the playoffs, so he's got a lot to prove, and I know he's anxious to get out there. And the Cardinal defense is nothing to scoff at. They've really been strong all year.
On that
their
defense.
Secondary and their front seven has been really good all season long. And players like Patrick Peterson and the Honey Badger, who have really been on their A game all season long. It's going to be a great matchup, and the Panthers are going to have their hands full.
Let me ask you this: do the Panthers kind of remind you of the Seahawks from a couple of years ago?
The Panthers?
Yeah,
I
know they don't
so.
have they don't have beast mode. I mean, who's beast mode besides beast mode? I mean, do you think beast mode?
No.
They don't have that kind of back.
Well, I will tell you this much: Jonathan
swag-wise.
Stewart is a tremendous running back. He's a load. He's been a key player for them for the run game all year. They are very similar to the Seattle Seahawks.
Got a
from
mobile
couple
quarterback,
years ago.
young Thundercat guy back there.
Yeah, and they have no fear. They're defeating all of the odds.
Having
fun with it. Ron Rivera is one of those coaches. He's a player's coach. He was part of that '85 Bears team. Where
you talk about
the
a
fridge
football
and all
team.
these guys were dancing.
They had
and
Sweetness.
They had
Walter
Sweetness.
Payton.
Yeah,
They had their
Jim
own
McMahon.
video out.
Yeah, I mean this is so
Bears
this is
Shuffle.
a team that understands what it takes to win. They're doing it just totally different than anybody else has all year. So when you look at the Carolina Panthers, they've got a lot going for them this year, and I just think it's their time. Nothing against the Arizona
I was
Cardinals.
doing the same thing. The Cardinals.
Cardinals, the Cardinals are going to give them all that they have, and it may come down to the last
I think it'll
play.
be a
It
close
could be a field goal. I'm not sure quite yet what the scores are going to be, but I think it's going to be very close.
Well, let me ask you just a quick question. You're obviously a former football player. Isn't it better to see a team who's having fun? Doesn't that make a difference?
It does. It makes a huge difference, because it does show you that teamwork ultimately is what is going to prevail you over an individual or single-minded thoughts. And I think playing together as a team, having fun, that togetherness, it just lets you know how awesome athletics is, and especially a sport like football where it takes everybody on the roster to get to where you are. It's a really big deal.
Well, I'll give time for predictions, and for me, I look at the AFC side of the draw, and it feels to me like track. I'm going to make this like track, where you got Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and they're like sprinters. They're running the 100-yard dash, 200-yard dash, so it's kind of on those guys on their own. On the other side of the draw, you've got the Panthers and the Cardinals, and they're more like a relay team where it takes everybody. You got the leadoff guy, and you got the anchor guy, but it takes everybody. So I think it's going to be a little more fun to watch the relay side of it, so I think you're going to have a better game on the NFC side. But for predictions, I'm going with Peyton Manning here at home. No one else is picking it. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm giving it to Peyton by 3. And on the other side of the draw, I'm going to give it a little bit more of a stretch. I'm going to go with the Panthers by 7.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that's a good prediction. I'm going to probably go with Peyton Manning winning this game as well at home, and I just think Cam Newton is doing a lot of really good things as well on offense and overall as a team, and so I'm excited to watch that game. So that's all we have for today. As you can see, it's cold for us here.
It's cold on the deck.
But this is it for OTD. Thanks for watching, folks.
All righty, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
Warm up our toes.